Hey guys, this is Steven from Nikola Pro. Today I'm going to show you how to install the trim section of our Model X Chrome Delete Kit. The full kit can be found on our website at nikolapro.com. Just a few notes before we get started. The backing paper of the vinyl is pre-cut into sections, and I recommend that you follow the same order for removing them as shown in the video. You also notice that each piece is labeled. The first letter indicates the side it is for, D for driver, P for passenger. The second letter indicates the section, in this case T for trim. Lastly, the number at the end indicates the order in which to install them. The trim section that we're doing today contains 6 pieces, T1 through T6. It's important to note that there are 2 different versions of the Model X front corner trim. Vehicles manufactured before 2018 will use the single T6 piece, while vehicles built after use T6 up, 1 and 2. Lastly, since we're using the new 3M 2080 material, the gloss finishes have a protective layer on top. This layer is to be removed after installation by picking at the edge of the vinyl and peeling it off. Do not remove this layer until the very end of the installation. Also ensure that your vehicle is completely clean and free of any dust or debris before starting. Now let's get to the install. We're going to start with the section labeled T1 with our trunk open for easier installation. This is the back corner piece of trim. You'll notice an arrow pointing downwards. This indicates the orientation for the piece. Start off by peeling the backing paper at the very end of the piece and aligning it to the back of the trim. Place it so an equal overhang is made on all sides. We'll do the top portion first before moving to the bottom. Peel off the next section of backing paper and continue lining up the top with a small overhang. Don't apply pressure to the bottom half of the top section just yet. Start to apply pressure to the bottom half of the top section. Now we will move on to the lower section of the piece using the same technique. Make sure there is a small overhang on the bottom but not enough to contact the paint. Fold over the top half. The overhang created will lay slightly on the top of the rubber seal. Now fold over the bottom half of the top section and the inside corner. Use the small squeegee to tuck in the vinyl on the bottom closest to the paint. Fold the overhanging vinyl on top. Fold over the relief cuts and press firmly to remove any creases. Use the heat gun to soften the vinyl at the edges and tuck them in. Use the felt side of the larger squeegee to tuck in the bottom half of the top section. Moving on to T2, you'll notice that the falcon wing door is slightly open. This is to make it easier to fold over the edges. You can do this by clicking the open button as they are opening to stop them in place. This will not damage the doors. On this piece, you'll notice that there are two arrows. One points to the front of the car and the other points to the ground. Ensure you have the correct orientation before removing the backing paper. Align the piece so that there's a small overlap on the left and a very small overlap on the rubber seal at the top. Continue removing the sections of backing paper and applying the vinyl. Do not put pressure on the bottom half just yet. Once you have finished removing all of the backing paper, go over the entire piece slowly from top to bottom. Ensure that there are no bubbles remaining. Use the felt side of the larger squeegee to tuck in the bottom first, and then switch to the hard side to finish the job. For the top, switch to the smaller squeegee and tuck in the vinyl into the rubber seal. Go slowly to ensure no creases or bubbles form. Pull back the rubber seal to fit the vinyl in if you have a bit too much overlap. Once you're finished tucking in the vinyl, move to the ends. Fold the vinyl over and tuck it underneath the back of the trim. Use the heat gun to remove any creases. T3 is very similar to T2. Follow the same process. If you cannot see the top of the chrome, use a stepping stool or similar to get a good vantage point. T4 is also similar to T2 and T3. The only difference you will notice is that the alignment is to the edge of the mirror with no overhang on the side. The overhang on the top is the same as the previous pieces. T5 is the small end cap of T6. Peel off the backing paper of the larger section first and align it onto the end of the chrome trim. Once aligned, remove the rest of the backing paper and press firmly on the entire piece and all edges. The part labeled T6 has two different trim versions. If your car was made before 2018, then the front corner trim will be one entire piece, while cars made after that have two pieces of chrome for the front corner trim. If you have a newer Model X, please fast forward roughly 5 minutes and look for part T6-up on the bottom right of the screen. Starting with T6, peel off the bottom section of backing paper first. Make sure you do not accidentally remove the backing paper at the front while doing so. Align the piece to the bottom of the corner trim near the paint. Make sure that the corner trim is covered on the left. Press firmly on the middle of the exposed vinyl adhesive. Remove the next piece of backing paper and apply pressure down the middle first. Now fold over the bottom and top. Remove the first piece of backing paper on the top section. Use the larger squeegee to tuck in the vinyl on the bottom and corner piece. Heat up the inside corner and press down firmly with your finger to form it to the shape of the chrome trim. Do not apply too much heat or the vinyl will overstretch. You can use the squeegee to remove any persistent bubbles. Fold over the vinyl overhanging on the right side. Use the heat gun to soften the material and remove any creases. Now remove the next piece of backing paper on top. Align it so there is an overlap on top just below the painted panel. Use the squeegee to tuck in the vinyl. Continue removing the backing paper and applying the vinyl with overlaps on both the bottom and top of the trim. Fold the vinyl over at the end and tuck it in using the squeegee, similar to T2, T3, and T4. T6 Up is the alternate piece for the corner trim and is made for Model X's manufactured after April 2018. Start off with T6 Up 1 by peeling off the backing paper on the skinny end first. Align the piece to the bottom of the chrome trim near the paint. Make sure that the corner is covered on the left. Press firmly on the middle of the exposed vinyl adhesive. Remove the next piece of backing paper and apply pressure down the middle first. Now fold over the bottom and top. Use the squeegee to tuck in the vinyl. Fold over the vinyl overhanging on the right side. You can use the heat gun to soften the material and remove any creases. Moving on to T6 Up 2, remove the first piece of backing paper and align the vinyl so it overlaps the bottom, left, and right sides. Apply pressure evenly on the piece and then remove the next piece of backing paper. Fold the vinyl over with your fingers and then tuck it in using the squeegee. Use the heat gun to soften the vinyl. Continue removing the backing paper and applying the vinyl with overlaps on both the bottom and top of the trim. Fold the vinyl over at the end and tuck it in using the squeegee, similar to T2, T3, and T4. Thank you guys for watching. As always, you can contact us any day of the week via email, through our website, or on Twitter.